Good evening. My name is Lorena Rodriguez. I'm captain at Sheriff's Information Bureau. Today, Sheriff Alex Villanueva and El Monte Interim Chief Ben Lowry, along with Homicide Captain Andrew Meyer, will provide preliminary information on the two officers who were tragically murdered today. Along with us today are El Monte Mayor Jessica Ancona, Councilwoman Victoria Martinez Muela, Councilmember Martin Herrera, Councilmember Dr. Maria Morales, and Field Deputy Antonio Chapa, representing Hilda Solis's office. I now present you Homicide Captain Andrew Meyer.
Andrew Meyer. I'm currently the captain of LASD Homicide Bureau and DREW, MEYER. Tonight I'm here to provide you with an update on the officer-involved shooting that occurred in the city of El Monte. Officers responded to a call for service at a local motel in the city of El Monte. The call was regarding a possible stabbing victim at the location. Officers arrived on scene where they confronted the suspect, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. The suspect fled the hotel room into the parking lot, and a second officer-involved shooting occurred. Two officers from El Monte Police Department and the suspect were struck by gunfire. The two officers were transported to County USC Medical Center, where they passed away earlier this evening. The suspect was also struck by gunfire, and he was pronounced deceased at the scene. This investigation is very preliminary at this point, and we are working together with our law enforcement partners, El Monte Police, very closely with El Monte Police Department, and working together and making sure that we conduct a thorough investigation. That's all I have at this time. I'm going to turn it back over to the captain of Sheriff's Information Bureau.
Thank you, sir. I would like to present now El Monte Police Interim Chief Ben Lowry.
The men and women of El Monte Police Department, as well as the community of El Monte, is grieving. I've heard that the only way to take the sting out of death is to take the love out of life. And believe me, they were loved. These two men were loved. They were good men. They paid the ultimate sacrifice, serving their community, trying to help somebody. They do what hundreds and thousands of men and women do every day across the United States, get up with an oath to protect people and to serve them. And these two heroes paid the ultimate sacrifice. Today they were murdered by a coward. And we are grieving, and it hurts. We really want to express our appreciation to the surrounding cities and agencies who have been here to support us. Very grateful for that. Please keep these officers' families in your prayers.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the city of El Monte, Mayor Jessica Ancona.
Good evening. Heartbroken doesn't begin to express the loss that we feel with the news that two of our El Monte police officers were shot today in the line of duty. As our officers do on a daily basis, they were acting as the first line of defense for our community members when they were essentially ambushed while trying to keep a family safe. These two officers were like family in our community, with deep ties to our neighborhoods. One of our officers was raised in El Monte, went through our schools, and was excited to be a part of the El Monte Police Department, where he would be able to serve and protect family and friends. The other fallen officer was a new officer patrolling our streets, excited to be on the force, and ensuring that the community members he had met along the way were protected. These men were dedicated to their careers, and even more so as sons, husbands, and fathers. Please keep their families in your prayers. While we always stand behind our officers, today we mourn together and speak with a raised voice in appreciation, respect, and love for our law enforcement brothers and sisters. Today we stand in solidarity with them, embrace them and their families, and pray that the wives, children, and families of our 2 officers who were taken too soon can eventually find peace. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Field Deputy Antonio Chapa, representing Hilda Solis's office.
Thank you, Captain. And good evening. My name is Antonio Chapa from the Office of LA County Supervisor Hilda Al Solis, and I will read a statement from her. I am heartbroken to learn that both officers involved in today's tragic incident have unfortunately succumbed to their injuries. On behalf of the 1st District, I extend my deepest condolences and regret to their families, loved ones, and fellow officers. My office and I have been in constant contact with the City of Monte and the LAC, USC medical staff, and we are prepared to support and provide resources to their families. The sacrifice of these public servants to keep our community safe will never be forgotten. May these 2 heroes rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will now open it up for questions.
What do we know about how it escalated to the point of somebody pulling first?
I'm sorry, ma'am. What was the question again?
What do we know about how it escalated until somebody pulling first, or whether it was not or was suspect?
It's extremely early in the investigation, so we don't have all the facts yet. But currently, there are homicide investigators. We have at least 20 investigators out at the scene, interviewing witnesses, reviewing, or not reviewing, but looking for any kind of surveillance video, canvassing the scene. So
I
they'll.
understand that it was a stabbing call first, is that right?
That's correct.
Was the suspect armed with a gun when the officers arrived?
We believe that the suspect, there was a gun recovered at the scene near the suspect. I'm sorry, sir, what was that?
First off, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
My question is, when the officers first arrived on the scene, were the first shots fired into the hotel room, and then one officer went down there, and then the other officer pursued in the parking lot area? Is that right?
Sir, I'm not going to speculate on exactly what happened or what occurred, but we believe that it started in the hotel room, and an additional shooting occurred outside in the parking lot.
How many arrests were made in this incident?
I'm sorry, say it again?
How many arrests have been made in the incident?
Oh, how many arrests have been made? None that I'm aware of.
There was some, I think we had someone on scene who saw someone detained at the scene. Was that not in connection or not aware of that?
I'm not aware of anybody being physically detained, but there may have been witnesses at the scene that investigators or the witnesses were waiting to speak to the investigators, or it could have been the female that was there as well.
Sir, what's the status of the stabbing victim?
It's my understanding she was not stabbed, but investigators are currently interviewing her.
So was this a family situation where the male was the suspect? The mayor mentioned that one of the officers was protecting the family. Was this a family situation where the male became the suspect?
It's too early in the investigation to speculate or talk about that. The female was, we believe, was the suspect's girlfriend.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the officers on the force response?
I'm sorry, sir, can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, can you tell us more about the officers on the force? I understand one of them, obviously, the mayor was someone who grew up in Monte, and the other was you. Can you tell us more about how old they were and how long they served?
Yes, sir. Chief, would you mind talking about the officers if you have a question?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the officers.
If there's anything you want to say on that.
One of the officers was a veteran police officer, at least 22 years on the job, and the other officer was newer, less than a year on the job. I don't have that information right now. We're going to hold off on information about that because family members have still not been notified yet.
I'm sorry, ma'am, what was that?
Were they the first two officers to arrive on the scene, the two that were shot and killed? And were they the first two to arrive on the scene, or were there other officers there during the shootout?
I don't have that information. I'm not exactly sure how many officers were there at the time of the shootout, so it's just too early to talk about that.
And my other question is, we heard that other officers put them in patrol cars and drove them to the hospital. They didn't wait for an ambulance. Is that correct?
I'm not going to speculate on that. I wasn't given that information, so that may be the case or it may not be the case. I can't say.
And why is the street blocked off here? Does that have anything to do with this case?
Not that I'm aware of.
Sir, I'm sorry, can you clarify, was the veteran police officer the officer who left no money, and the newer officer was not originally part of that community?
I don't know if the chief wants to speak to that. We're not obviously giving out the officers' names or anything at this point.
Yeah, both officers had family ties in El Monte. Captain.
I'm sorry. We'll take this last question. We're going to have a follow-up. We'll have some more information tomorrow. But if I could take this last question, go ahead, good sir.
Yes, I'm just wondering, just to clarify the sequence of events, you're saying that there was a shooting inside the motel, there was some sort of exchange of gunfire, then the suspect made his way outside, and there was another exchange of gunfire between other officers, and that's where the suspect was killed?
Yes, we believe so. Was there a question that's basically what I said earlier, is that when the officers contacted the suspect in the hotel room or the motel room, an officer-involved shooting occurred. At that point, the suspect fled the hotel room, and a second officer-involved shooting occurred in the parking lot of the location.
Were the officers staying inside the hotel room, or were they when bullets out with the second shooting?
I don't know that information, and it's too early in the investigation to tell. I left the scene. I left before I could even do a walkthrough of the scene with the handling investigators. So I will. That will be the last question, and we will put out more information tomorrow. Thank you.
We will now